Good day, our viewers from wherever you're viewing. My name is Mormon James, the Student Literacy and Magazine Coordinator for Delhi Technological University International Student Society. Today we are starting our first episode of DTU ISS Unite. DTU ISS Unite is a platform that we have created to help us answer certain frequently asked questions from the DTU International Students community. DTU International Student Society is a society that was established, and today we would hear an explanation of what this society is all about. In the studio today, I have with me our guest, Iyiola Oluwaferanmi Joseph, and I'll just give him a few moments to introduce himself.
Good day, everybody. Thank you so much, Mr. Agbo James. My name is Iyiola Oluwaferanmi Joseph, and I'm the current president of DTU ISS. Thank you for having me on the show. Yeah,
you're welcome. On behalf of the students, you're welcome, and it's a pleasure to have you today as our first guest on the show. I have a few questions here outlined that I'll be asking today, just to help us know a background of what the International Student Society is all about. But before we go into answering those questions, do you have any background information you want to give us about yourself? Just a general view.
I don't think there's a lot to say. Okay, let me start by saying I'm a Nigerian. I'm proudly green, white, green. And I was fortunate to be part of the people who was awarded the ICCR scholarship to study in DTU. And one very important aspect of my life is music. I love to play music a lot. I am not one of the greatest guitarists, but I play well.
Yeah, I've seen you play the guitar in so many occasions, and to be honest, if we'd give you a ranking on that, I'll leave it at a 4.5. You just have a bit to work on to make it a 5-star.
All right.
At this point, I would like to ask about the foundation and the purpose of DTU ISS. Can you share the story of how the International Student Society was founded, and what were the motivations behind its establishment?
James, DTU ISS dates back as far as 2019, 2018. When we came, we found a lot of loopholes that needed to be addressed. And when I say loopholes, I do not mean academic loopholes.
Yeah, I was going to ask about
that. Because when you look at the structure of DTU, DTU is a blessed college when it comes to planning your academic life. They do that so well. But you see, another thing also that was one of the main challenges was the Office of International Affairs was new, as at that time we were just like coming in, different people from different background. So there was a need for, somebody to be there as an intermediary, to tell them and show them the way things are being done in other countries so that other students can be accommodated. What do I mean by that? By the grace of God, DTU ISS cuts over 50 countries of the world. So imagine an office that is new having to manage students from different backgrounds, like at the same time. Definitely is going to be hard, and we cannot expect the best at that particular time. So like that was the entire aim of DTU ISS, to make sure that international students are well catered for, welfare wise.
That's great to hear. Well, it's true, we have 50 plus countries of different students who attend DTU here, and they have different cultural backgrounds, and of course nationalities are different, and here we mingle with each other. Even as fellow students, it's difficult to understand ourselves sometimes. So it's true, I agree with you when you say we need an intermediary between the students and the International Student Society. Establishing the society, definitely there must have been challenges. There must have been challenges. So I would like you to tell us about what were the challenges you had initially, and how did the pioneer executive, the first set of executives who established the society, how did they tackle these challenges? How did they address them?
Well, like you said, the pioneers, were 5 of us who eventually managed to establish DTU ISS. But a lot of people do not know this. DTU ISS survived on the 3rd trial. Yeah. So in 2018, before we came, our seniors, they tried to establish an international student association. It was not approved. When we came in 2019, we joined them. In fact, in 2019, we used to be in the same hostel. We used to call ourselves the Defta Lions. That was where the entire revolution started from. The likes of Anthony, Sir Dominic, of blessed memory, of which we've had good memories together. They are not dead; they are still alive. But like those were the people who gave us the motivation to be able to do something. So eventually, in 2021. The struggle was getting much more, and then it became unbearable. So and the funniest was as at that time we were talking to the school, but then there is a limit you can go to if you are speaking for yourself only. As far as I know, in India, organizations are more respected than individuals. Okay. So as at that time we were like the first SD we always say, we were like, that time we are lions without teeth. So we needed to have so we needed to have our teeth. And then we were 4 Africans, myself, Frederick Kabwe, Hamlet Mukwe, then we had a lady from Sri Lanka with us, Binuri, and then Dauda. So we came together. People were not interested in the first place because nobody wants to submit to their peers. Yeah. If DTU ISS is going to be there, it needs to. So like that was one of the challenges. Yeah. Like they cannot lead us. How can they be our leader? Nobody should represent me. In fact, the first election we had was just 5 people who came out to stand. 5 of us who were elected, and then even from the entire international student, I think we had less than 50 voters. That was how the society started. And then one of the main challenges was the registration with the college. Oh my God, it took us 8 months to register DTU ISS officially. Wow. But then God helped us. We were able to write the constitution. There were a lot of forth and back. I had to double check with DSW.
Okay, maybe that's the progress that has been made.
Yeah.
Okay. Talking about the challenges, I think we'll take a pause at that for now, and we'll move on. Other questions would bring that up as we go on. Now, you mentioned something about having only less than 50 people turning out for elections of over at least 1,000 students, and 5 people standing for elections uncontested. So how did the society manage to get its members? Like, what was the means to getting the members into the society and then getting acquainted with it?
There's this saying that says people are not interested in the process, they only want to see results. Yeah. So I think results was what got us the trust of the people, because then after the society got established, the very first thing we did was we tried to get other people on board. Like, okay, if you say you don't want to be elected, we are going to appoint you. So we appointed first. Then after appointing, we started liaising with the school authority, and then the very first thing I know our first executive team did was, first of all, we got the first years on our side. What do I mean by getting the first years on our side? We make sure they were properly picked from the airport. We make sure they got their accommodation. So like first year itself is a class of 100 plus. So like helping that amount of people settle down. Of course, they were new intakes. They were new to DTU, so they don't know what was going on, before. So like that was how we started, and then we started showing results. We were constantly talking to ICCR, and then people do not joke with their money, of course, the stipend and everything. So like when it's time, their money to them, listen to so like one of the places we make sure we put pressure at the society is to make sure ICCR disburse funds on time. So the moment ICCR was disbursing funds and ICCR was just talking to us, they weren't talking to the student directly. So you could not talk to ICCR directly by yourself, just like to get a quick response. So they knew they had to like talk to the society. So that way, gradually, people started opening up to the society.
So that was what the society was actually meant for. To become a bridge between
exactly.
ICCR, the Office of International Affairs, and then the students on the other side.
Exactly.
So it was beginning to play out as planned. Okay, so like as the society or as the Pioneer Executive, today we're discussing the foundations.
It's okay.
In other episodes, we'll discuss what's going on now and how we see the society in the future. So, like, how was the liaison between the society and the college now? Not with the Office of International Affairs or with ICCR. You mentioned earlier it took 8 months to get the society registered. So after that was done, what was the relationship between ISS and DTU?
Well, ISS was lucky to have the Associate Dean of OIS at that time as our faculty advisor. And as far as I know, the Dean of Office of International Affairs at that time, Professor Vishal Verma, was the one who forwarded the file for the creation of ISS. So like it was, I mean, the Dean was not, very open to us, but of course the Associate Dean cannot avoid us because she's our faculty advisor. Because as per DTU rules, whatever the society is going to be doing, the faculty advisor has to know. So like, because our faculty advisor was from OIA, she's an Associate Dean of OIA, it was easy for the society to get things done when it comes to OIA. You understand? Maybe something is pending because she knows that the society is just a matter of giving her a call. Hello, ma'am, this is happening. So like from OIA, it was very smart. And then when you come to the administrative block, we were just, getting in terms with DSW as at that time. We were not that very close when the society started. But then she had been helping us. And because, of course, all of the societies in DTU are under the Student Welfare jurisdiction. But for the fact that we are liaised with the Office of International Affairs, it is mandatory for us to report to the Office of International Affairs first. So for the fact that OIA was with us, from the admin block, we had the Office of DSW who was also helping us. It was coming smoother day by day, but it was not very smooth. That I must tell you. It took us time to gain their trust.
Of course, it will take time. Already it took 8 months. And it needed more time to gain their trust. You got them into it and you built it gradually. I would commend your efforts for all those who were part of the Pioneer Executive. It was a great job done. We cannot deny that, and today we can see we're actually reaping the fruit of the labor you guys did. Now, in what way did the society's presence benefit international students during its early years? Were there specific resources or support systems introduced to the society to help incoming international students adapt to their new environment, and partnership or collaborations? Before you answer the question, earlier you mentioned you guys made it possible to be able to accommodate the 100+ new students, freshers who were first years at that time. So how was this done? So
initially, the old ways in which OIA was being run on was when you're coming to OIA, you send them your itinerary so that they can send somebody to pick you up at the airport. But at times OIA gets so busy that even you get to the airport, you have to make personal arrangements. So like as ISS, what we did as at that time was, after admissions were done, we spoke to our faculty advisor and was like, okay, can you please give us the emails of the students that were admitted? So what we did was we sent all of them a bulk email, and then we kept all of them in a WhatsApp group. So it was easy for us to, get information across to them. We're able to tell them, okay, you are coming to Terminal 3. When you get to Terminal 3, fill this Google sheet, give us a picture of yourself. We'll send somebody to come and pick you. So like, whether you have somebody in DTU or not, I mean, some people made their personal arrangements, that's okay. Whether you're in DTU or not, or you have somebody in DTU or not, there is somebody to pick you. And then one thing that was not, properly done during our own time when we were coming was the allocation of hostels. For us, when we came, we had to go with our luggages and baggages to Office of International Affairs. Then hostel office, we waited for hours before we were allocated rooms. But after ISS came into the picture, for the fact that you've informed us you're coming, we go to Office of International Affairs, make all necessary arrangements, and make sure you are allotted a hostel room. So before you come, your room is available. Even if you are coming, even at the worst, if we cannot get you a room, we talk to other international students who have their own private accommodation, and then we, put you there for the weekend, make sure you are comfortable. So like that was before transiting to the hostel.
But, okay, for this thing you've said, personally, I was someone who enjoyed that benefit. I remember in 2021 when I came in that batch, I was being picked up from the airport, brought to college, and the same day we were allocated room in the boys' hostel. But there were some students in the same batch who arrived and they did not have that benefit. And they arrived after we did. What was the error there? What happened? Because they suffered so many things that I don't know exactly, but they did suffer some, disadvantages.
The thing is, regardless of how much you try to help people, how much you try to put things in place for people, some people will still disregard instructions. So it must have been possible that those boys you were talking about did not inform the society they were coming. Or maybe they had made personal arrangement and it failed. Okay, now here's the problem with personal arrangement. Whenever if you're making personal arrangement, the person, it's not very smooth for the person you're making a personal arrangement with, if the person is not part of the executive council, to get things done smoothly for you by getting you your hostel allotment and all of us. I'm not saying normal students cannot, but for the fact that whoever is in the office, trust your word, they know, okay, this is coming from the society, definitely this person is coming. So it might have been like those boys or whoever it is that you're talking about did not inform properly, or maybe they just informed Office of International Affairs alone, they didn't inform the society, or maybe they didn't even inform anybody at all. That was why that happened. Otherwise everybody would have been catered for.
All right. Okay, I think that answers the question for what happened, and I guess that has been taken care of.
Yeah.
Okay, so now there were objectives that the society had at inception. There were goals that were set, or motives for why the society was organized, which you told us. Now, have the society's objective or the areas of their focus changed significantly since its inception? And if yes, what were the reasons behind these changes?
Well, DTU ISS is committed, and we have no reason to change our objective or goals. Our goals still remain the same when you go through our memorandum, because the goals are not something that can just be changed casually, even if we want to, and there is no reason to do it, because I could remember from the memorandum, part of our goals was, to facilitate international student convocation, liaise with training and placement, all of those things, the creation of the DTU ISS webpage, liaise with ICCR, and all of those things. All of those goals have not changed, and even in years to come it would not. That I can tell you, because that's why the society is there. Otherwise then there's no need for the society.
All right, it answered the follow-up question. So there was no reason for the objectives to be changed. Therefore it wasn't changed. I think our final question is to you as the president and of the society currently, and as previous vice president. Of course, those are significant roles in the executive council of the International Student Society. So we just want you as the president and vice president to tell us what were the key leadership qualities that were important in the society's early development and establishment.
I think the first key leadership quality is perseverance. I can tell you, number one, students are not easy to deal with, firstly. Number two, students from 50 different backgrounds. Everybody has their own view of life. Everybody has the way they've been brought up. So you cannot expect things to go the way you want all of the time. And another good quality that's needed as the leader of the society is patience. Yes, dealing with offices in India is not easy. That I can tell you. In India, everything has to be paperwork. So like whatever request it is you are making, even though it can be done verbally, you have to prepare the paperwork. Otherwise, you're not going to get anything. And then another thing another leadership qualities that's needed is the ability to be a team player. You know, ISS has a lot of branches, shall I say branches, a lot of subcomponents under it. You have the cultural aspect, you have the technical aspect. So if you're not a team player, how are you going to make all of those people work? It's not possible, right? You need to be able to get your team to trust you. You need to be able to get your teams to do things you cannot do, because you cannot do everything by yourself. You're just going to break down. And then another key leadership qualities is good public speaking ability. That's very important, because as the president, there are issues you need to address. There are issues you cannot overlook. And then, of course, in official events, of course, you have to give speeches. When you visit offices, you have to. So you have to be able to speak properly without feeling intimidated, because these are over 700 lives hanging on your shoulder. So you cannot be representing 700 lives and then you are speaking with little or no confidence at all. You need to be sure, you need to be able to speak. And then the last thing that is very much more needed for anybody who is going to be on the leadership seat in DTU ISS is you need to know when to take a step back. Yes, my predecessor will always say silence is violence. Yes, silence is violence, but at times you should know when to step back, because you cannot be aggressive all of the time. You need to be dynamic. Some situation requires you to keep going, but at times if the pressure is too much, it's going to reach the breaking point, and then everything you're trying to achieve is just going to blow up. So I think those are really key qualities that's needed for whatsoever is going to be on the leadership seat of DTU ISS, or whatsoever is going to be involved with the society.
Oh, thank you so much for that information. It has indeed enlightened our mind. It has illuminated our understanding of why the society has been set. Thank you for coming to answer these questions for us today, and to you the viewers out there, I would like you to, under this post, just put in the questions you think have not been answered, you need to get answers to, and whatsoever comments you would like to leave for us, we'll read them down there and we'll give you the response you need. Thank you for listening to DTU ISS Unite. We'll have this more frequently and you'll hear from us again. Thanks for the show.